My sister spent her college fund on parties and trips, and now that I'm rich and her money is gone, she demands that I continue to pay for her lifestyle. Dad sat us down on our 18th birthdays. Same envelope, $50,000 each. Use it for college, start a business, whatever. But if you blow it, don't come crying to me. This is your one shot. I put mine towards State University, got an 80% scholarship, banked most of it, lived in a basement apartment with 3 roommates, ate ramen for years, worked at a coffee shop for gas money. My sister was on a plane to Ibiza 72 hours later. Her Instagram became beach clubs, designer bags, champagne bottles that cost more than my rent. She posted living my best life while I pulled double shifts for 3 years. She'd FaceTime from different countries, Thailand, Dubai, Miami, Vegas, always the same smirk. You're such a loser. Dad gave us free money and you're studying. I'm actually living. I never argued, just kept building my software company in that cramped apartment. Year 4, I landed my first major client, $200,000 contract. By year 5, my company was pulling 7 figures. I bought a downtown condo, got a nice car, finally ate real food. Around then, my sister's Instagram went dark. Her last photo was from Croatia, then complete silence. 6 months later, frantic knocking at 11 p.m. I opened the door, mascara running down her face, wearing cheap Target clothes instead of the brands she used to post about. I have nowhere to go. Dad won't answer. Mom, change the locks, please. I shouldn't have, but she's my sister. I let her stay in my guest room, told her it was temporary until she got a job, found her own place. Week 1, she barely left the room. Week 2, things started disappearing. My Rolex, the one I bought after my first big sale, then $300 from my wallet, $300 bills gone. I found her in the kitchen making coffee, wearing new makeup, expensive Sephora stuff. Did you take money from my wallet? She didn't blink, just stirred her coffee. Yeah, you're rich now. You won't miss it. I needed foundation and concealer. That's not how this works. You can't just steal from me. She rolled her eyes. Steal is harsh. I borrowed it. You'll get it back when I'm on my feet. Relax. Pack your stuff. You need to leave today. She laughed. Actually laughed. You're serious? You're kicking out your sister over $300? Dad would be so disappointed. Something snapped. I pulled out my phone, called Dad, put it on speaker right there. Hey, what's up, Dad? She just told me you'd be disappointed in me for kicking her out after she stole from me. Long silence, then ice cold. Let me talk to her. I handed her the phone. She grabbed it like she'd won something. Dad, he's being so mean. Stop. I gave you both $50,000. Same amount, same speech. Your brother built something. You partied. He worked 5 years while you burned through everything. Now you're stealing from him. Her face went white. But Dad, I told you. I warned you. If you waste it, you're on your own. Your brother chose to build a future. You chose to live like tomorrow didn't exist. That's on you. Your brother doesn't owe you anything. I don't owe you anything. You made your choice. She screamed, literally screamed, grabbed for the phone. You're turning Dad against me. This is your fault. You always had to be perfect. I took my phone back. Dad was still on. Change your locks tonight. I mean it tonight. And hung up. She packed. Took 2 hours. Every few minutes she'd come out screaming about how I ruined her life, how I was a terrible brother, how karma would get me someday. I changed the locks at midnight, drove to Home Depot, bought new deadbolts, installed them myself while she banged on the door outside. That was 3 weeks ago. Now she camps outside my building every single day, sits on the sidewalk, crying loud enough for everyone to hear. Yesterday she told neighbors I stole her inheritance, that I manipulated Dad, that I'm why she's homeless. Mrs. Chen from 4B asked me about it. I showed her the bank statements. Mrs. Chen nodded, said she'd tell the building manager the truth. I went to my car that night to grab groceries. My sister was sitting on the hood, still in those cheap Target clothes, but her eyes looked different, empty. She didn't move when I asked her to get off, didn't speak, just stared. I walked around to the driver's side and that's when I saw it. All 4 tires slashed, windows smashed, and carved into my hood with a key were the words, "You're next." She finally smiled and I heard footsteps behind me. I spun around fast, heart pounding. 3 people were there. I recognized them immediately from my sister's old Instagram posts. The party crew, the ones she'd tag in Ibiza and Miami, always holding bottles that cost more than groceries for a month. They stood there in designer jackets, looking like they'd just stepped out of some nightclub. The guy in front, tall with slicked back hair, had his arms crossed like he was security at some exclusive venue. "Your sister asked us to deliver a message," he said, voice cold and rehearsed. I looked past them at her. She was still sitting on my car hood, that smile getting wider, enjoying this. Watching me surrounded like this was the best entertainment she'd had in months. "Wire her $50,000 by tomorrow morning," the guy continued. "Or things get worse for you." My sister hopped off the hood, walked closer. "I've been watching you," she said, her voice casual like we were discussing the weather. "I know what time you leave for work, what coffee shop you stop at, that little gym you go to on Thursdays." She pulled out her phone, started scrolling. "I have photos. Your routine, documented, every single day. This wasn't impulse. This wasn't desperation. She'd been planning this for days, maybe weeks. You actually think I'm going to give you money after you destroyed my car?" She shrugged. "That's just a preview. You don't pay, we keep going. Your office next. Maybe that nice condo you're so proud of." The tall guy stepped closer. "Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. She has the routing number." I looked at all three of them, then back at my sister. She was practically glowing with satisfaction, like this was her big moment. Her comeback after months of sitting outside my building looking pathetic. She thought she had me cornered. "No," I said simply. Her smile faltered. "What? I'm not giving you anything. Do whatever you think you're going to do. I'll call the cops right now." The tall guy laughed. "With what proof? Your word against ours. We weren't even here tonight." My sister's smile came back. "Besides, I already posted online about how you abused me, how you stole my inheritance. You think anyone's going to believe you over me?" She turned to leave, her friends following. "Sleep on it," she called over her shoulder. "You have until 8 a.m. I stood there in the parking garage, looking at my destroyed car, and pulled out my phone. I wasn't going home tonight. Not with her knowing my routine that well. Not with three people apparently willing to escalate this. I called my buddy Jake, the one who'd been my roommate back in the basement apartment days. He answered on the second ring. "Yeah? I need to crash at your place tonight. I'll explain when I get there." "Doors open, man." I grabbed what I could from my car through the broken window, then got an Uber to Jake's apartment across town. He took one look at me and handed me a beer without saying anything. That's what I always liked about Jake. He knew when to just let someone breathe before the story came out. I sat on his couch and opened my phone. My sister had been busy. I found the posts almost immediately. Long captions on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the same story. My brother physically abused me for years. He manipulated our father, stole my inheritance. Now I'm homeless because of him. She'd tagged mutual friends, family members, even some of my business contacts. The comments were already rolling in. Some people defending me, but others, people who didn't know me well, were asking questions. Is this true? I had no idea. This is so terrible. My phone buzzed. Email. A client I'd been working with for 8 months. Subject line. Concerning allegations. "Hey, I saw some posts online. Just want to check in. Are the things your sister is saying accurate? We need to make sure we're working with someone who aligns with our values." Another email. Different client. Same concern. Then a text from a potential new contract. "We're going to hold off on moving forward until this gets cleared up." She was going after my business. Systematically, publicly. Jake sat down next to me. "What's happening?" I showed him everything. The car, the posts, the emails. He read through it all, his expression getting darker. "Dude, this is psychotic." "I know. What are you going to do?" I stared at the posts again. She was spinning this whole narrative, making herself the victim, making me the villain. And people were believing her because it was dramatic, because she seemed desperate, because she knew how to work sympathy. "I'm going to tell the truth," I said finally. Jake nodded. "Smart. You have proof, right? Bank records and stuff?" "Yeah, all of it." I spent the next 2 hours putting together a response video. I sat at Jake's kitchen table with my laptop, laying out the timeline. The $50,000 we both got. Screenshots of her Instagram from those party years. The dates matching up with her claiming she had no money. The bank records showing my college payments, my business investments. The text messages from the night she stole from me, where she literally admitted taking the money. The security footage from my building showing her vandalizing the car, which the building manager had sent me within an hour of the incident. I kept my voice steady in the video, didn't attack her, just facts, dates, receipts. This is what happened. This is the truth. I posted it at 2 a.m., then turned off my phone. Whatever happened next would happen. I crashed on Jake's couch, exhausted. When I woke up around 9 a.m., my phone was on fire. Texts, calls, notifications. I scrolled through them slowly. The video had spread. Not just spread, it went viral. 20,000 views, then 50,000. By noon, it was past 200,000. The comments were brutal, not toward me, toward her. "This is insane. She really thought she could lie like that? The entitlement is unreal. He doesn't owe her anything. Imagine destroying your brother's car and then playing victim." But it was the other comments that caught my attention. People who knew her, friends from her party days. "She did this to me too. Borrowed money and never paid it back, then blocked me when I asked about it. She stayed at my place for a month rent-free, then trashed my apartment when I asked her to leave. She's been manipulating people for years." I'm glad someone finally exposed her. Her old crew, the ones who'd been at my car last night, were distancing themselves. One of them even commented, "We didn't know the full story. We're not involved in this." My business clients started emailing again. Different tone this time. We saw your response. Thank you for the transparency. Looking forward to continuing our work together. The potential contract that had backed off, they reached out. After seeing everything, we'd actually like to move forward sooner than expected. Your handling of this situation showed real integrity. I sat there on Jake's couch, watching it all unfold, and felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Relief. Not triumph, not satisfaction, just relief that the truth was out there. That I wasn't going to lose everything I'd built because of her lies. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered carefully. Hello? Is this about your sister's situation? Who is this? Detective Morris. We've seen the video and the evidence you posted. We'd like to talk to you about filing charges for the vandalism and the extortion attempt. I gave him the address of my building, told him I'd meet him there in an hour. When I showed up, my car was still sitting there, destroyed in the parking garage. The detective took photos, got copies of the security footage, took my statement about the 3 people who'd surrounded me last night. Your sister's made this pretty easy to prosecute, he said, clicking his pen. When someone documents their own crimes on social media, our job gets a lot simpler. What happens now? We'll bring her in for questioning. With this much evidence, she's likely looking at criminal charges, property damage, attempted extortion, possibly harassment depending on how long this has been going on. I nodded, signed the paperwork, and left. I went back to Jake's place, ordered new tires and windows for my car, and tried to just breathe for a minute. But I couldn't shake the feeling that this wasn't over. My sister didn't just give up. She never had. 2 days later, I found out I was right. I'd started staying at a hotel instead of Jake's place. Didn't want to bring trouble to his door. Around 3 a.m., my phone rang. Building security. Mr. Hayes, we have a situation. Your office has been broken into. I was there in 15 minutes. The office building manager met me in the lobby, looking grim. She used an old key card, he said. We deactivated your sister's visitor access weeks ago, but apparently this was from back when you first started the company. I'd completely forgotten about that. Back when I was first getting the business going, she'd visited once, acted interested in what I was doing. I'd gotten her a temporary keycard for the week she was in town. Never thought to check if she'd returned it. The manager took me up to the 14th floor. My office door was open. Inside, it looked like a tornado hit. Papers everywhere. My desktop computer monitor smashed. But the worst part was my main laptop, gone, and the backup drive, also gone. She deleted files too, the IT guy said, already at my desk trying to assess the damage. Your recent project folders, client contact information. Looks like she knew exactly what she was going for. I stood there feeling sick. Those project files represented months of work. The client contacts were relationships I'd built over years, and she'd just erased it, stolen it. Can you recover anything? I asked. We have cloud backups, he said slowly, but not everything auto-saves. You might have lost some recent work. Few weeks worth, maybe. My mind was already racing ahead. What was she planning to do with client contact info? Reach out to them? Try to sabotage relationships directly? The building manager had pulled up security footage. There she was, 1:47 a.m., slipping into the building through the side entrance. She knew the cameras there had a blind spot. She'd planned this carefully. I'm getting a restraining order, I said, and pressing charges for this too. Smart, the manager agreed. We're banning her from the building permanently, and we're reviewing all our security protocols. I left around 6 a.m., exhausted and angry, but I had an idea. If my sister had stolen client information, she'd probably try to use it, and I knew where she'd been staying. I'd seen it in the background of one of her Instagram posts from a few days ago. She'd gone live briefly, ranting about me, and I'd recognized the apartment behind her. That weird textured wallpaper. I knew that place. It was her ex-boyfriend's apartment, guy named Connor. He ran some kind of investment thing that always seemed shady to me. Get-rich-quick schemes that usually ended with other people losing money. If she was staying there, maybe he didn't know who he was really dealing with. My sister was good at playing victim, but Connor was the type who'd turn on anyone if it benefited him. I found his number through mutual contacts and called. He answered on the 4th ring, sounding annoyed. What? Connor, this is about Jenna, my sister. Oh, his tone changed, guarded now. What about her? How long has she been staying with you? Few weeks? Why? You know what she's been doing? The vandalism? The break-in? Silence. Then, what break-in? My office, 2 nights ago. She stole client information and deleted project files. More silence. Look, man, I don't know anything about that. I took a chance. Connor, she's been recording your conversations, planning to blackmail you. That stopped him cold. What? I don't have proof yet, I lied. But knowing her pattern, I'd check your place. She's probably got something on you, something she thinks she can use when she needs money again. I heard him moving, drawers opening. You're bluffing, am I? She just destroyed my car and broke into my office. You think she'll treat you any better when she's desperate? He hung up. I didn't know if it would work, but I'd planted the seed. Maybe he'd find something, maybe he wouldn't. Either way, I'd stirred the pot. Turns out I didn't have to wait long to find out. 6 hours later, my phone rang. Unknown number again. I answered, "Yeah? This is Connor." Her ex's voice was tight with anger. "You were right. She's been recording everything. Every conversation we've had for the past 3 weeks. Found the files on a hidden folder on her laptop. What was she planning to do with them? Blackmail, exactly like you said. She's got me talking about some. Look, it doesn't matter. Point is, she kept evidence of stuff that could get me in serious trouble. I'm done with her. Is she still there? Hell no. I kicked her out an hour ago. Took her laptop too. Figured you'd want to know she's got files on there about your office break-in. Screenshots of your client contacts. The project files she stole. All of it. Can you send those to me? I need them for the police report. Already ahead of you. I'll email everything. But I'm also sending screenshots of her admitting to the vandalism. Text messages between her and those friends of hers planning the whole thing. Consider it my apology for letting her stay here in the first place." The email came through 20 minutes later. I forwarded everything to Detective Morris immediately. He called me back within the hour. "This is perfect," he said. "We have enough now to make multiple charges stick. Theft, vandalism, breaking and entering, computer fraud. She's going to jail." I felt something dark and satisfied settle in my chest. Good, but it wasn't over yet. Because my sister, now completely isolated and exposed, had one more move to make. She showed up at my parents' house. I only know because my dad called me, his voice strained in a way I'd never heard before. "She's here," he said, "on the front lawn, screaming." I drove over. By the time I got there, neighbors were out watching. My sister was on the grass, mascara everywhere, hair a mess, screaming at the house. "UOWE, both of you. You gave him everything. You ruined my life." My dad stood on the porch, arms crossed, face like stone. My mom was behind him, crying quietly. I'd never seen my dad look at my sister like that, like she was a stranger, someone he didn't recognize anymore. "I'm done," he said, loud enough for her and everyone watching to hear. "You made your choices, every single one of them. The money, the parties, the lies, all of it was you. Your brother didn't manipulate me. He didn't steal anything from you. He worked, you didn't. That's the difference." My sister's face twisted with rage. "So that's it? You're just cutting me off? Your own daughter?" My father's voice didn't waver. "I'm removing you from my will, completely. You'll get nothing when I die. And I'm blocking you on everything. Phone, email, all of it. You want to keep living like this? Fine, but you do it alone." My mother sobbed, louder but didn't argue. My sister looked between them, like she couldn't believe this was happening. Then she looked at me, standing there by my car. "This is your fault," she hissed. "All of it." "No," I said calmly. "It's yours." She ran at me then, actually ran, hands out like she was going to attack. I stepped aside, and she tripped, fell on the driveway, laid there for a second crying. Then she got up and ran. Just ran down the street until she disappeared around the corner. My dad came down from the porch. "I'm sorry," he said to me. "I should have done this years ago." I nodded. I wasn't sure what to say. My mom came down too, hugged me tight. "I'm sorry too," she whispered. "We enabled her. We thought we were helping, but we were just making it worse." We stood there for a while, the three of us, not saying much. The neighbors eventually went back inside. The street got quiet again. My phone buzzed. Text from Detective Morris. "We have a warrant out for her arrest. If you see her, call immediately." I showed my parents. My dad just nodded, looking exhausted. "Good," he said. "Maybe jail will finally wake her up." 2 days passed. I heard nothing from my sister. No texts, no calls, no appearances outside my building. It was the quietest 2 days I'd had in weeks. I almost relaxed. Almost. Then I got the text. "Hospital, emergency room, come now." It was from her phone. My first thought was, it's a trap, some new manipulation. But something made me go. Maybe curiosity. Maybe some remaining piece of family obligation. I showed up at the ER waiting room. Asked for her. The nurse looked at her chart, frowned. "Are you family?" "Brother." She nodded. "Your sister checked herself in about an hour ago. Said she was having a medical emergency. But when the doctor examined her, there was nothing wrong. She's in observation now. So it was manipulation. Fake emergency to get attention. To get me here." I was about to leave when the nurse added, "Though we did call the police. There's a warrant out for her arrest. They should be here soon." I realized then what she'd done. She knew I'd come. She wanted me here when the cops showed up. One last scene. One final moment where she could make me the villain in front of everyone. I left before the police arrived. Got back to my car and sat there for a minute just processing. She was that desperate. That committed to the narrative that she was the victim. Even now, even with everything crumbling around her, she was still trying to control the story. My phone buzzed. "Mrs. Chen from 4B. Your sister was just at the building. Security wouldn't let her in. She tried to break in through the parking garage, but they called the police. She's still here." I drove back. Arrived just as a police car pulled up. My sister was sitting on the curb, hands behind her back, already in cuffs. She looked up when she saw me, and for a second her face was completely blank, empty, like she'd finally run out of moves, out of lies, out of energy. Then she smiled. That same smile from the night she destroyed my car. Hollow, bitter. You win, she said. Happy now? I didn't answer. Watched as the officers put her in the back of the car. One of them came over to me. You're the brother? Yeah. She's going to be processed and likely held until arraignment. With the charges stacking up, bail might be high. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you. The car drove away. Mrs. Chen came out from the lobby. Good riddance, she said, shaking her head. That girl was nothing but trouble. I went up to my condo, locked the door, and finally felt like I could breathe. 3 weeks of chaos. 3 weeks of my sister spiraling out of control, dragging me down with her. And now, it was over. Or at least, this chapter was over. I spent the next few days catching up on work, rebuilding the files she'd deleted, reassuring clients that everything was back on track. The business recovered faster than I expected. Turns out, being transparent about what happened made people trust me more, not less. But then, 2 weeks after her arrest, my phone rang. Jail. She was calling from jail. I almost didn't answer. Let it go to voicemail. But something made me pick up. Hello? It's me. Her voice was small, defeated, nothing like the screaming, manipulative person from the lawn. I wanted to call. Why? Long silence. Breathing. Then, I destroyed my own life. I know that now. It wasn't you. It wasn't Dad. It was me. I didn't say anything, just listened. I had everything, she continued. The same money you had, the same chances. And I threw it away because I thought I was smarter, thought I could just live in the moment and figure it out later. But there was no later, just this. Another pause. I could hear other voices in the background, other inmates probably. The reality of where she was settling in. I'm not asking you to forgive me, she said. I know I don't deserve that. I needed you to know that I get it now. I get what I did, and I'm sorry. Then why'd you call? I asked, my voice harder than I intended. Because you're my brother, and even though I ruined everything, even though I hate myself for what I did to you, you're still the only family I have left who might ever speak to me again. I closed my eyes, felt that familiar pull, the same pull that made me let her stay in my guest room, that made me answer her fake hospital text, that made me answer this call. She was still my sister, no matter what she'd done. I can't help you, I said finally. Not anymore. You made choices. Now you deal with consequences. I know, she whispered. I just wanted to hear your voice one more time. That's all. The call ended. Automated message about time limits. I sat there staring at my phone for a long time. 3 weeks later, I got another voicemail. I was in a meeting when it came through. Didn't listen until later that night. Her voice again, but different this time. Crying. Really crying, not the manipulative kind. The kind where you can barely breathe between sobs. They're taking me to prison, she said, voice shaking. Sentenced today, 3 years. I destroyed everything. My life, your car, your trust. Dad won't talk to me. Mom won't visit. I have nobody. This is what I deserve. I know that. I wanted you to know that if I could go back, if I could undo every stupid decision, every lie, every moment of thinking I was special and didn't have to work like everyone else, I would. I'd give anything to go back to when we were 18 and Dad gave us those envelopes and just make different choices, but I can't. So now I sit here, and I think about how you're living your life, building your company, being successful, and I'm here. And it's all my fault. She took a shaky breath. I don't expect you to write me, or visit, or anything. I just needed to tell someone that I know I destroyed my own life. That you were right. Dad was right. I was wrong about everything. The voicemail cut off, saved to my records. I stared at my phone for a while, then deleted her contact. Didn't block her, just removed the name. If she called again, it would just show up as unknown number. And I'd decide then whether to answer. Make sure to click on the screen to watch another story.